Hey Kaiju fans, so today we'll be taking a look at this Godzilla book or magazine from 1985, and this is The Return of Godzilla. It's about 600 yen. I bought this used in Japan. Haven't really looked at it in a long time, so I guess you'll be seeing it with fresh eyes like I am. So let's go ahead and get into it. And obviously, if you do like our content, please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe, and head on over to our web store, kaijukingdomcollectibles.com. We have all kinds of Godzilla and Friends products. Alright, so this is probably my second favorite Godzilla film. Obviously the first one, 1954, is by far the favorite, but this one here, a strong favorite of mine as well, just because there's a tragic element to it all, and there's it's a little bit more than monsters just duking it out, which is always fun, but I think this one sort of struck a serious chord. I do remember there was a conflict within the movie that mirrored what was happening during the Cold War between the United States and Russia, so there is a bit of social commentary that's embedded in the movie, so there's a lot to it, and I would encourage everyone who hasn't seen it to go out and see it, because it is definitely a terrific film. Alright, so let's open this guy up. Got the opening section here that has some Godzilla metrics on the left side here. Great image of the big guy. Really like this redesign, by the way. After, I guess, the series and the franchise sort of was on pause since around the mid 70s, so this was must have been really great to kind of see him come back after about 10 years of hiatus. Okay, so yeah, this looks to be a chronicle of the movie itself, I should say. You have all the main characters. You have the journalist, the sister of the, I want to say, biologist who is on the ship, a professor, and then the prime minister. And I guess you kind of walk through the scenes here for those who haven't seen the movie yet. It's there's a little bit of a horror element to the movie, so I will say it is a little bit of a departure from the 60s and 70s films, which were a little bit more children friendly, I would say. I kind of like this image. It's sort of iconic, and yeah, he's literally, Godzilla's carrying the nuclear reactor and drawing energy from it. So again, another social commentary about nuclear energy, and there's a danger element to not only Godzilla but also the byproducts of nuclear disasters. Oh yeah, this is I always kind of like this scene here. It's Godzilla kind of attacking Tokyo Harbor. It's a great shot. It's all done with, guys in the suits and maybe some after special effects and miniatures, but he basically blows his breath all across the bay slash dock, and it just, everything explodes, and it's a memorable scene in the movie for sure. Okay, here he is causing havoc in downtown Tokyo. Oh yeah, here's the Super X. This is supposed to be the indestructible mechanism to try to take down Godzilla. I remember in the film there's a certain musical score that's associated with this machine approaching Godzilla. It's pretty iconic. Just thought about that now. And this is kind of the conclusion of the film. I think for those who've seen it, you would know what's happening. Okay, now we get into the making of Godzilla section. Wow, this is really cool. I haven't seen this in a while, but yeah, all the behind the scenes stuff, the construction of the suit, the design, the animatronics. There are some close-ups of Godzilla in the film where they kind of do a waist-up profile, and yeah, it appears that they did construct an animatronic Godzilla, which would have been awesome to see in person. I will say there is a bit of a variation between the close-up shot, the face, versus the long shots of Godzilla. Maybe it's just simply due to budget and maybe having the inability to replicate his face exactly in multiple constructions of him, but nevertheless still very iconic. Maybe this is me just editorializing a little bit, but I always have preferred miniatures and live action special effects with, you know, physical objects versus CGI, just because you could do a lot of wonderful stuff with just, you know, film techniques and tricks, and as well as a degree of skill, and that to me offers so much more authenticity than some of the sort of lazy CGI effects that you see nowadays, without, you know, pointing fingers at any particular franchise or whatever. But I think this goes back to those DIY, low budget miniatures, guys in suits, all very relevant and practical. All right, well, this, again, I can't necessarily read all this, but it does say Toho Monsters Museum, so I'm just wondering if in the mid-'80s there was an area which had Godzilla costumes and or props, things of that nature. But yeah, these look pretty good. I would imagine maybe they're from the original film. This Molstra looks like it was maybe from Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, perhaps. And even when these images were taken in probably the 80s, they do look a little bit dated here, so I would imagine maybe these are the original props, and that would have been cool to check out that museum. Looks like they got Rodan from the mid-60s film, Ibara, the original King Ghidorah sculpt, where he's got a little bit of fur around his neck. You have Anguirus and other kaijus. Okay, and then finally it looks like we have a section for model kits and memorabilia, stuff like that. And that about does it. And yeah, there's Godzilla reading a book about himself, so it's a little bit narcissistic on his part. But yeah, that basically does it. Hope you enjoyed this content, and we'll catch you next time.